What's up, y'all? It's your boy Vinny Dangerous, back again with another installment of 1430. Just getting started. Just hit 8 o'clock. For anybody that's unaware, because of the time change, I don't know about anybody else, but it really got me kind of thrown off a little bit. So, I almost forgot what time it was. But we here on time. Uh, yeah, even got my son a little bit thrown off. Uh, his bedtime is usually 7, and it would just be hitting 7 if the time didn't switch. So it's a little different for him, but he's adjusting. He's adjusting. Um, yeah, I want to hold on one second.
Where we at?
Okay, I got you.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, how does my mic sound?
A little fuzzy.
Buzz?
Yeah, and it's got a little bit of an echo.
What about now?
No, it sounds good now.
Yeah, my monitor is too high. My echo is off. The settings are this. What about now? Testing, testing.
Um, yeah, okay. Now you sound a little low.
I sound too low?
No, now you sound good. I don't know. Maybe you're just talking low because I can hear you clearly now. The second time you were talking.
I'm trying to get this mic to act like some. Okay. Are you
Yeah.
sure it's too loud?
No, no, it sounds good.
Okay. This is your wife speaking. We need to take we need to get a rag or something and wipe the top of that speaker.
Yeah, it's. I've been meaning to get to it. I've been meaning to get to it. Yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
can we
We
just
gotta. It
Ooh,
is fine for right now. I'll get it
no, it
after
is
this. I'll
not.
get it after the stream.
It is not. It's gonna bother me. Don't make me come downstairs. Grab one of peanuts, please.
Okay, hold on.
Just
I'll go
grab
get
a
it real
wipe.
quick.
They gonna judge me. Y'all not gonna be judging me. And let me. Oh, I already got my Celsius. Hello, chat. Hello, chat. Welcome to the stream. Oh, look at it shining now. Look at it.
Okay. See, it's better. Yeah, actually, it
Already.
look a lot better.
See, see,
Yeah, let me.
see.
I was gonna get to it.
Mm-mm. No, you
So what's up, babe? How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing good. I'm doing good now that Peanut is sleeping.
Yeah, because we are so great and so smart. We decided to have this stream on daylight savings. The baby is angry, but
Yeah,
he's
yeah. I think everybody's a little thrown off. I just didn't expect Pinochle to be as thrown off as he is, but we're here.
yeah.
We got through it. We got through the technical issues, and we're here to talk about We Are the World.
We are the world. Well, no copyrights, right?
Hopefully, hopefully
Don't
we'll see.
right.
Michael won't, but Quincy probably will. I don't know. But yeah, so it's actually your idea to do this episode. Um, like I really, wow, Charlie's barking.
The damn
The dog, our
like
dog
what the
Charlie, out of the blue, and he doesn't normally bark, especially when there's nobody at the door. So I'm really confused.
I didn't bang. It's
Yeah, I
not
didn't
me.
either. Okay, we'll just try to continue. Hopefully, he doesn't interrupt again.
Hopefully.
Uh, but yeah, so I was saying it was your idea to do the episode because you watched the documentary first, and then we watched it together, and it was fascinating. Like it was definitely like eye opening. I don't know about you, but I have a better appreciation for the song "We Are the World" because I always knew that it was for like relief efforts in Africa was the reason why they decided to put the song together. But I wasn't just I was aesthetically I just wasn't that big of a fan of the "We Are the World" song itself.
Yeah.
But it definitely kind of gave me a better appreciation for it. Like, what about you? Like, how did you feel after that?
Yeah, We Are the World has always been like a joke, right? For a while. I was
Yeah.
always just kind of like Team Prince on that, as far as like
Mhm.
it's just corny as shit. Why are we even? You know, I feel like for a while that it was very staged and pointless and very pop and very commercial and whatever.
Yeah.
Um, I ended up just watching it because I was working, and I just needed something in the background. And I was tired of Grey's Anatomy. I was tired of The Crown, and I just decided, let's just click this because I really do like to see the process behind things.
Mhm.
That's really what sucked me in. I did not care about the song. Um, Now I do though, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what pulled me in, was just looking at the process of things because I always want to know about what happened behind the curtain as
Mhm.
opposed to in the front. That was my problem. Without going too far on a tangent,
Mhm.
I went to the Renaissance tour, and I can't even tell you most of it that I see on TikTok. I'm like, I really don't remember that part because my eyes are just like, oh, there's a camera there, there's a camera there. They're transitioning back, and I'm trying to see all the things that you don't want me to see.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, that's kind of what sucked me in. And then once I saw the amount of chaos, coordinated chaos that went into that song, I was sucked in from there.
Yeah. It was just kind of like the on the face of it. You kind of underestimated like how crazy it is that they were able to get all those people to in one studio session for one night. Like, cause just like if, I'm looking at the names of everybody like Bruce Springsteen and Bob Dylan and Michael Jackson, Diana Ross, Ray Charles, Lionel Richie, like all these people, like these big names, and a lot of them were in their prime at the time when this song was recorded. So they were booked and busy like
Hmm.
crazy. And to be able to coordinate all of them to show up to the studio like for that song, and then knowing now that it was done like the night of the American Music Awards, it was just like a miracle that song just being able to get everybody in the same room at the same time. It was almost a miracle that it even happened at all.
It really was, and I think let's back it up a little bit for the folks
Hmm.
who didn't see the documentary.
Okay.
So it started off as an idea, right? Am I going too fast?
No,
Are
no,
you
no.
good?
You good.
Okay.
You
It
good.
started off as an idea with, I believe it was just supposed to be a Stevie Wonder, um, Michael Jackson, Quincy Jones type of collaboration because of what was the song beforehand? What was the song?
Oh,
The other song,
the Band Aid track
the Band Aid
was
track.
the
Yes.
Who, I think, was the one that created
Yes.
it. Yeah.
It started off as that, and then they started just kind of a small idea, just kind of pivoted on itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And once it got as big as it got, once you have Stevie and Michael, you pretty much have the entire music industry, right? So
Yeah.
all these people started saying yes. Then it becomes a question of coordinating this. How is this even going to work with all these folks? And there's, of course, with all those people, there's only one day that did
Mm-hmm.
work. um, and that was the American Music Awards.
Yeah.
And oh, I'm forgetting the most pivotal person through this entire process, which was Lionel Richie.
Yeah.
And just to know that at the American Music Awards, we have all of this going on. And for them to realize, like, this is the only date that's going to work. Because
Mm-hmm.
if it was me, I would have been like, well, I guess it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Because the American Music Awards, you really got me effed up. You want me to do stuff on top of stuff because Lionel Richie was the host. He performed twice.
Mm-hmm.
He got 6 awards, which means he was part of all of the planning and logistics of that show. And then right after the show, they go into a oh my god, I'm just stressed even just thinking about it. They go into this recording session
Yeah.
with all these folks. Um, I can't even imagine having to do all of that. But really, what inspired me the most about it was because all of this, the creative process and seeing the coordination behind everything, just reminded me of the idea behind ARU,
Mm-hmm.
which is Alien Robots and Unicorns. It is
Trademark.
it's a trademark,
Just to let y'all know, it's trademarked.
very trademarked, um, and it is a process and a personality profile for creative endeavors.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, you can be in a stage alien robot unicorn in your process. Alien is usually planning, logistics, the overall idea. Things are kind of not really quite solidified. It doesn't really have
Mm-hmm.
a form yet. Um, but there's also nothing holding it back. It's my favorite. It's the brainstorming, it's the mastermind. Robot happens when you have to streamline this idea. What are the schedules? What are the logistics? What is the budget? That's when a lot of things during the brainstorming session get kind of trimmed down because
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't work process wise. And then the unicorns are the performance, the magic, the day of all of that. So an ARU is somebody who can be involved in all parts of the process. They
Mm-hmm.
understand the planning and the brainstorming and coming up with the whole concept itself. They know how to streamline it. They know how to plan for it. They know how to speak in that type of lingo for those folks. And the unicorns are the people who perform and they're in front of the camera, usually the artist, usually the face, usually the model, usually the spokesperson or whatever. So an ARU is somebody who is all three and can speak all three. In that case, in that sense, the ARUs in the room were Michael, Lionel, Quincy, and Stevie.
Yeah.
And Stevie. We'll talk more about that later. I guess later on down the road, but that's where it
Nah, that's
helped me.
dope. Like
Yeah.
cause they were really the ones that kind of held that room together. Cause it was kind of, especially for as long as they did. I think they got there around. If I might be remembering this wrong, so don't quote me. But I think they got there at like 7, and then oh no
10.
11, yeah 10 10. They got there
Hmm.
at 10, and then they didn't leave till about 7
Yep.
a.m. in the morning.
Yep.
So after being at a full show, like a full award show, then like because I think Bruce Springsteen was coming off of the Born in the USA
Tours.
tour, like
Yep.
immediately like before that, and was flying in for the award show and the studio session.
Yep.
So you people getting tired, people getting antsy, like it got a little chaotic after a while, and Quincy, Michael, Stevie, especially Quincy. Quincy was definitely like the director of the whole thing. Like he really kind of ushered people together. Um, so like what you were talking about as far as like having the creative side, the technical side, and then the just kind of being able to be the free spirit in the room. Um, I got a better appreciation for Michael Jackson from watching
Really?
it, just because and it's coming from somebody that works on every aspect of it, of the creative process. You kind of like I kind of forget sometimes how involved he is in that process, from the writing like he helped write the song, he helped produce the record. Like when everybody else was at the American Music Awards, what stood out was that he kind of got there first at the studio. He missed the award show to go to the studio to make sure everything was in place, like to take the time to make sure that everything was in place before everybody else got there. And how even on the technical side, one of the things that stood out was just like them saying how they picked where people were going to stand based on like their vocals,
Yep.
and like they might sound good next to this person, and then as we go around for the different sections in the song, like all right, and just on that technical level, uh Michael was very hands on with that, which I wouldn't have expected him. As no, knowing how invested he is in his craft, I still wouldn't have expected him to be like on the engineering side, like being that hands on and that involved, which I thought was pretty dope.
Hmm. So you saw him mostly as a unicorn,
Yeah.
just somebody who is a performer and kind of just does the artist side, but you didn't
Hmm.
see him as a. And that's the thing, like to be an artist at that level,
Hmm.
you got to have more than just unicorn. You
Yeah.
got to be a planner. I mean, you just really have to. Like another ARU is definitely Beyonce.
Yeah.
Um, but I see like that same level of an organizational mind and the work ethic behind it. So for me, like it didn't really surprise me. It didn't surprise me at all. But I do echo your sentiment in the fact that I didn't know he was that involved. But another thing that I did recognize was that he didn't have the interpersonal. He never had it. Let's be honest. He doesn't have the
Yeah.
interpersonal skills, the people skills.
Mm.
That's where Lionel
Yeah.
came in. Without him, and I think that's kind of what everybody, except for Quincy, but Quincy's overloaded right now. He's
Yeah.
an ARU. He's in like this stratosphere of like everything, and it would have overloaded Quincy to also be interpersonal.
Yeah.
And I think that creatively, when we do that, when we're trying to do like we're trying to run it and keep the, I'm not gonna say peace, but and be involved in the intricacies of like person to person, you can't fucking do it. Something
Hmm.
is going to be amiss. Um, so I do believe just without Lionel, it just wouldn't have happened. And everybody doesn't have that
Yeah. Like I
because
get.
Michael didn't have it, Stevie didn't have it.
Hmm. I can speak from experience. I've That's my like blind spot. I feel like I'm not the interpersonal person, especially in the workspace. Like when it's time to like for a show or like in a studio session, that's always been my blind spot, because I'm more focused. I'm more like tuned in on what we need to do. But like the way Lionel was able to move around the room and like get people comfortable, and the spot really got me was the Bob Dylan, which I'm looking at Bob Dylan like everybody
Bob
else in that
Dylan was
room,
my
like
favorite part. Yeah,
yeah, like he
that
was
was my favorite part.
so. I'm thinking he's so larger than life. Like I'm thinking him. I'm like expecting him to be like this ultra confident guy, and to
Hmm.
see him kind of like, kind of retreat within himself. I'm looking at that like that's what I probably would have done in that scenario.
1,000%.
And
A
it
thousand.
definitely humanized a lot of people in that documentary. That people, we kind of look at these titans, like sometimes you kind of forget like they're regular people too.
Yeah, I like seeing the Bob Dylan part. Why did I like seeing that so much? Um, I like seeing the Bob Dylan part because I feel like I'm in an era of my life where I am the Bob Dylan in the room, and
Mm.
people are expecting people expect the brand,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of times the brand and the person is not the same thing all of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I liked seeing I liked seeing him. Don't worry about the pause. I'm comfortable with the pause. I want to say this right.
Okay.
I liked seeing that at the end of the day, he's still a person,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And we as people, everybody's on like different spectrums. And just because your brand is larger than life doesn't mean that you as a person are larger than life. And it helped me empathize with myself, where if I feel a lot of eyes on me, everything in me locks up. My muscles
Mm.
lock up, my speaking locks up. I'm still kind of working on that, but I just hate it. For example, I teach heels classes. I love it. I
Mm-hmm.
hate solos. I hate.
Oh,
I
see, I
only
didn't
do.
know that.
Oh, I hate them. Oh, I hate them so much, and I hate them because they make me so uncomfortable. I always do better when there's like people around me in that camaraderie. But when you are just by yourself and and it's just eyes on you. Ever since I turned 24, maybe this level of insecurity has kind of creeped its way into my life. But
Mm.
just seeing somebody be uncomfortable with the spotlight and be uncomfortable with being watched like that, especially like when you're in your craft, it was very comforting. And it was comforting because all he needed was for the room to be clear.
Mm.
All he needed was for the room to be clear and for somebody to make him comfortable. And I think that there's a big lesson in that. And
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't matter how big you are. It doesn't matter how much admiration. Like he was the star among the stars,
Mm-hmm.
and he still needed support.
Yeah. Which,
I
yeah,
think
because and I think it also goes to show like the difference in like creative processes too.
hmm
Because, I mean, Sheila E was talking about like there's too many people here. Prince is not gonna show up. Which, you know, I know we kind of looked at it like, oh, like Prince just thought this was corny, which he probably did. He probably thought it was corny. Like it was, what are we even doing here? But I think also, even if it wasn't We Are the World and it was like just doing a song, collaborating with like even maybe like a fraction of those people, not even just all of them. It's like, yo, this is not my creative process to have like this room full of people and like having
Yep.
all this input. Like, I'm never the type to be, as a rapper, a lot of people expect like, oh, you're gonna have 10 people in the studio and everybody's smoking and drinking and like having fun or whatever, like, and that kind of contributes to the creative process. And some people that works for them, they need that energy to get what they need to get out and complete the creative process. I can't do that. I can't do that at all, and I'm not comfortable with being in that vulnerable part where it's everything is incomplete. Like I'm working on this new album. You hadn't heard any of like the incomplete stuff. And you're like the person I would go to before anybody.
Yeah.
But even me, I'm like, nah, it's not finished yet. It's not done. I can't, I don't know. I didn't want to expose that part until it was at
Yeah.
least 80% done. And like, I wouldn't want people in the room when we're just figuring it out because it may not make sense, and I don't know. It's just I'm afraid of the judging eyes before I can get the picture can be completely painted and stuff like that.
I agree. I agree with you. And I do agree that Prince didn't show up out of ego and insecurity.
Mm.
I think the ego is a veil for the insecurity. Never been his thing. Like you remember the James Brown concert when he was put on the spot? Him and
Yeah.
Michael. They were both put on the spot. Michael did well
Mm-hmm.
because that's Michael's thing. Prince did not.
Oh, I forgot about
Prince
that.
did not. It was like the guitar was not working, the vibe was off, and then he like spun around a light pole or something, and the whole light pole came down and
Yeah,
things
okay,
like
I
that.
remember that.
And I think it's like that environment. That was another thing. It was very star studded. There were a lot of big names in the room,
Hmm.
and then and I also I echo Prince in the fact that who all gonna be there? Oh, they gonna Michael gonna be there. I ain't even about to. I ain't even about to play with you, bro. I ain't even
Yeah.
showing up. I'm pretty sure that was what it was. I'm 1,000%. If Michael wasn't there, and Michael wrote the song, like I'm not doing that shit.
I didn't even think about that part. Like he
I'm not
wrote
doing
the
that shit.
song, and
Hmm.
and like, because then it would be expected, I guess, that Prince
Hmm.
would have a bigger part than just singing a couple lines.
Yes, and I don't need Michael coaching me on how to sing my little part, tell me to do it again and my pitch and boy fuck you. So I yeah.
But I don't, because that's that part of me that's like, you should put that aside for the betterment. Because I mean, even if you didn't believe in the cause for We Are the World, I don't know. It just seemed like, let me tuck that for this cause. Like, who knows? This could make a difference. This could help out. The people in the countries of Africa that we're trying to get this
Yeah, but
message
then
out more.
you would have heard about everybody who's involved. And you would have heard Cindy Lauper, for real, bro. I'm not.
Uh, yeah.
She could sing though.
Yeah, she was
I
actually
didn't.
better than I thought. Like, did you
Yeah,
see the meme with Michael looking at them crazy for this stuff? But now watching the documentary, I think that was more so him facilitating than
yeah,
anything. Like it
and he was
felt,
probably fucking tired too.
yeah, that too. Because I think at that point, that was when that was like 3 in the morning. I think I remember. I was clocking
Okay,
it because I was like, I wanted to see like how the time as it lapsed, how it affected the room, and I was just like, yup, we like 3 hours in, people starting to get antsy. One
wait, you gonna
dude walked
wait,
out.
wait, hold on 1 second. You gonna laugh at me, but I gotta pee. I wait 1 second.
Okay, okay,
Wait, I gotta pee so bad. I'm not holding it.
okay. All right, we're gonna we're gonna pause it for a second. But yeah, I guess I can kind of talk on it a little bit more. Um, Cause yeah, with my creative process, like I like to record at the house, so I've never been to have a bunch of people over. Like every feature on my album, that's coming out soon. I guess I can go ahead and say the date because I announced it at the show. And shout out to you if you showed up to the Poorhouse, man. We had a really great crowd. So if you showed up, you know, I really appreciate y'all coming through and showing love. And during my set at the Poorhouse, I I performed some new songs. So and I announced like the album will be out April 30th. I'm gonna make an official announcement on IG, but for y'all and the people at the Poorhouse, I'm letting it be known now that the album is coming out. I'm gonna reveal the title, album cover, track list, all that stuff in due time. But hey, you back.
Okay. Why did I do that? Like,
I mean, it's
I don't
cool.
be.
I'm kind of like back and forth because I got a P two,
Go
but
pee.
no, I'll be fine. I'm
Oh
good.
no, go pee. Go pee. I
No, no,
promise.
I'm serious. I'm serious. I'm good. Like it's not like my
Shh,
bladder is about to explode or no shit like
girl.
that. It's just I feel it coming, but it's cool. But
Okay.
okay, I'm trying to remember the last part you said before we.
We was talking about Cindy Lauper and that she could sing. We was surprised.
Oh,
And
it was because I was clocking the time and how things was how people started to how it kind of affected the room like as time went on, like how
yeah,
people started getting antsy. Like it was interesting that I don't even remember who that guy was, but when they suggested about putting Swahili in the song, since it was for Africa, and then the dude just said, "Yo, a good old boy ain't never sang Swahili, so he out." I don't know who that was, and that might be part of the reason why I don't know who that is. Because, and I know pretty much majority of everybody, even if I'm not as familiar with their music, I know pretty much everybody that was in the room. That was like one of the couple of names I did not know. And when I saw that, I was like, wait a minute. I was surprised just because, like, bro, you showed up to a session with Lionel Richie, Michael Jackson, Quincy Jones that are like pretty much leading the charge. But it was like, yo, I showed up for them. I showed up for those black folks, but I'm not gonna sing no Swahili. I just thought
I mean,
that was interesting.
I guess everybody has their limits. And people get weird when I don't know what I'm singing. Like I would be suspicious too. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah,
I don't know
there
what
was
I'm
a few people that was like, What are we saying? Like, what does that mean?" And they were asking a lot of questions at that point,
singing. Because
which
it could be anything.
I noticed the respect that people had for, because there were a lot of people said they one of the big reasons why they showed up was because of Quincy. So
Yeah.
they just pulled up because the Quincy was involved. So I think, and I noticed that up until that point, which that might have been like halfway through the session, up until that point, there weren't really a lot of questions and
Oh no,
people
you assume that.
interjecting.
That-
Oh, I mean, well, that's what
I
they
can
just
only
showed us from the
assume.
documentary. It just seemed like
Right.
everybody was like on the same page, and that was
I
kind
can
of like
only
the moment where it kind of broke, where everybody started to go, all right, we're. And I think it was because they did do the big speech saying that this was about a bigger cause and stuff like that, and like letting them know like this is the real reason why we're here. So I don't think people, I think people just kind of like stay quiet and just say, all right, we'll do our part for this. But I think like once the Swahili was introduced and like we don't really know what we're talking about, like
If
that's
I
when I
remember
started
it
hearing the
correctly,
questions.
didn't they like the Swahili just like came up out of nowhere? Like it wasn't
Yeah,
even
that wasn't even part of the
originally.
song.
Yeah. And I guess yeah, I would have questions. I
Yeah.
would have a lot of questions.
Plus, I think it was a respect thing too,
Mhm.
because Smokey Robinson mentioned how he was the only one. Like it was like, what is that line? He was saying, I don't remember what the original line that Michael wrote, but he said like, "This is what we're giving,
So we are giving.
so we
So
are
we
giving."
are giving.
Oh yeah, that was the original line
Yeah.
that Michael wrote, and Smokey Robinson was like, well, "What do you mean?
What are we giving?
What are we giving?" And he said like, "I'm probably the only person in there that would have like spoke up
Mhm.
to Michael Jackson and like object just because they known each other from the Motown days for so long." Which
Right.
I so that might have been a part of the reason too why like there wasn't a lot of interjections up until Swahili got introduced. Which I mean, like,
I
yo, it's
believe
3 in the morning. Don't be adding no new shit. Like, bro, I'm trying to. Like at this point, I'm just all right. Like now, you got me speaking a whole nother language. I've never spoken in my life. Like, okay, yeah, it's 3 in the morning.
it's
I ain't trying to do that.
no, no. I probably would have been against it also. I don't do a whole lot of that. Mm, mm-mm. I gotta have an understanding, a very
Yeah,
clear understanding. If I'm gonna be a part of something creatively, but I do believe it was a much harder fight than they let on. There's no way, like, with all those folks in there. That's
yeah,
part of the reason why, like, you and I, we don't collaborate much um,
yeah.
with the art because we understand the extra level of communication that has to happen.
Hmm.
And I'm be honest, like half the time I ain't even up for the fight. Half the
Yeah.
time I don't even know how to explain what I'm even thinking. I don't even know. I don't know. And it's
Yo,
like
for
that's the
real
number
though.
one way. No, that's the number one way to flare up my anxiety is to ask me a question about something I haven't even had the chance to like fully flesh out in my
Hmm.
mind. Ooh, I don't know.
And like sometimes for me, it's the opposite. It's like I've already fleshed out the idea,
Mm,
Like, definitely don't come to me if I haven't really fleshed it out in my mind. But if I fully fleshed it out, I have the vision already, and then you're trying to interject. Sometimes I can be a little standoffish.
I
Which
hate it.
sometimes the suggestions, I will admit, sometimes the suggestions end up improving the song, but
Yeah.
it's really hard for me to
Ow.
see past, like, all right, I've already painted the full picture with you in it, and now you're trying to change the colors,
Hmm.
and you're trying to, like, oh, we're doing it a different aspect ratio. Like, you're trying to come in and change the aspect ratio of the picture I'm envisioning. I'm like, no, I'm not doing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, but I think there's layers to that too. So it's like I think we always feel the intention behind the ask
Yeah,
because
that's true.
you and I and just artists in general, like we're fine with like going with the flow. And if something like genuinely sounds like a great idea or a better idea or an improvement, I'm fine with going that in that direction. I'm totally
Hmm.
fine with it. What I'm not fine with is somebody coming in and trying to make all of these changes
Hmm.
to make it theirs.
Yeah.
To make it theirs? Is that accurate? No,
Or
yeah.
yeah, like they're trying
No,
to
to
change
make
your
it theirs.
vision to their vision.
Not that there's it's not an ownership thing, it's an ego thing.
Mm.
It's an ego thing.
Like they know better. Like it's like I've come in, I know better, or my ideas
Yeah,
are better. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and there's been times where I've had that thought in my head, but especially if it's not my project or if I'm just playing my part
That's
or something
different.
like that, then I'm like, all right, I'll keep. Then I might throw a suggestion out there, but if they don't run with it, like it's cool because I know it's your
That's
vision.
different.
Now,
But
when
you
it's
know the
my
difference.
vision, it's different.
But you know the difference. Like you can always feel the difference when somebody is just giving a genuine suggestion because they are, excited and comfortable with you. And
Hmm.
then there's another aspect of it when somebody gives a suggestion to prop themselves up, to make themselves appear to be the expert in the room or the better opinion. You can always, I don't know, I can feel it.
Oh yeah.
I can feel it. I can always feel it. And that's what I'm just like, mm, mm. So I think like from this documentary, I wish they talked more about how they said no to,
Yeah.
or how they vetted out what will work and what won't, things like that. Because I can't even imagine. It reminds me of the point that Lionel made
Hmm.
when he said, if anybody asks me a question, the worst thing I could do is say, I'm not sure about that. What do you think?
Oh, that was a good part. I forgot he said that, but
I was like,
that was a great part.
you too, sis. Because if you just leave just an inkling of they are going to
Hmm.
eat you up, and before you know it, what you originally had in your mind, it ain't even that no more.
Yeah.
It ain't even that no more.
And then just like we were talking about, it kind of leaves room for like the unsolicited, or not unsolicited, but like the ill-intentioned advice or
Yep.
interjections and things like that. When you're like, I'm not sure, then that's when they can butt in and be like, oh well, because I have this idea about such and such, and it's really more about giving them more of the spotlight, or
Yep.
maybe even trying to get themselves like more of the writing credits so they
Yep.
can like get a bigger piece of the publishing. It's like that kind of stuff happens in those things, and all it takes is that one little interjection to kind of, now it goes from this thing where we're collaborating to my vision to like now you're like interjecting yourself so you can get a bigger piece of it when it's all
Mhm.
said and done.
Mhm.
One of the things I wanted to know, because you were talking about something that you wish they would have did more in the documentary. One of the things I wish they would have did was kind of talk about how the like after the recording and like the process of releasing. even if they only did it like for like a couple, because they talked about they kind of it's kind of like they wrapped up the recording and then they immediately showed us like all the stats, like how how many records it sold and
Oh yeah, yeah,
kind
yeah.
of things like that. I kind of wanted to know the process about you know, and this is probably just me, but they were talking about it from a technical engineering thing, like from standpoints. I kind of wanted to know about the after, like how difficult it was to mix and process all of those different vocals and trying to get them to sound cohesive the way that it was. Like I kind of wanted to know a little bit of that part because I and then because I also know like as far as egos go with those as big as stars that they are, I know that they probably had some type of interjections. I would want to
Oh,
say like I
yeah,
know if not everybody, at least a few of them, I could just imagine like somebody saying, "Hey, this is how I like myself to sound," or I hear the song before it comes out so I can know if my part sounded well.
yeah,
Like I feel
yeah,
like that would have definitely been an interesting part. Because it's one thing when you record it, but it's another thing when somebody gets to tinkering with it to try to make it sound a certain way, and then you're like, I don't really like the way my voice sounds after that, and I don't. I just even if they only talked about it for like a brief moment,
that would
even
have been
if
nice.
that would
Yeah.
have been nice. I don't know. I just felt like that would have been an interesting thing. One of the things I didn't like, and it was kind of dope. Like everything just kind of felt like everybody was just there's a lot of camaraderie. There's a lot of people like they had a part with it, like they were asking each other for each other's autographs, like showing like oh we were all fans of each other. But I didn't like the way they treated Sheila E. in that one. That was the part. That was and
What about it specifically?
basically kind of like making her feel like she was only there so they could try to get Prince or try to coax Prince into being part of the session. Like I think somebody mentioned it. I don't know if Lionel mentioned it at the beginning, but they even before they started talking about like everybody being there, they talked about how Prince was in love with Sheila E. at the time.
Hmm.
And then she would talk about how hey like people just kept coming up to her and asking her like is Prince coming, do you know if he's still around, like
Hmm.
would he like do you think he's gonna show up later.
Hmm.
And she said like after a while she got the hint like maybe I was only here, like everybody else is here because of who they are and their name, and I'm here because of Prince, or of trying to get Prince to come out.
Yeah,
So I think she left before everything was wrapping,
she
like
did.
before. So I didn't like that. It's like I don't know, just don't invite me because you're trying to get to somebody else.
But is that the truth?
That's interesting too because that might have been more of an insecurity thing too because nobody actually said that.
Nobody said that. A, nobody said that. B, she was a performer at the AMAs.
Yeah.
C, she just came off tour.
Mm-hmm.
I think she let the devil block her blessings on that one. And
I can
I
see
think
that.
it's the same devil or demon or same energy or whatever that surrounded Prince that kept him from that.
Yeah.
Uh, I think that when you're in close proximity with some folks, you start to think like them.
Mm-hmm.
And even I noticed I was around a group in a certain point in my life where there was a lot of suspicion. There was a lot of uh, just overall questioning of people's intentions every second of the day. And because of that, over time, I started thinking the same exact way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think her proximity to Prince had her thinking that way. I think a Sheila E song, like she was talented. She is talented in her own right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she was in that room on her own right. But
Yeah.
because of her proximity, people are naturally going to ask if Prince is coming.
Yeah.
I think she just got tired of people asking.
Yeah, and then who knows? There might have been other, like, because there's a lot of people that couldn't make it. There were some people that was like, well, we're on tour, or we're about to go on tour, or we just have other like engagements, so we're not gonna be able to make it there. But I can
Hmm.
imagine maybe other people who were collaborating in that room that were not there. Like there might be people asking, like, hey, is such and such here?
Yeah,
Or
it's
was such and
natural.
such going to be able to come to, or something like that. So it might have just been like questions like that going on. So I think you're right. Like I think it might have been more of an
And if people
insecurity
don't know
thing.
you, when people don't know you, what's the question? Hey, how you doing? How's dancing? How's peanut? Like that's
Yeah.
just the normal. So if I see Sheila E, I'm gonna ask about Prince. How are you? Like
Hmm.
it was just Sheila E and Prince all the time. Like
Yeah. I can see that. And then there
yeah,
was some people that were like, because they're all big stars. Like we said, like they're in their prime at that point, and they were kind of talking about each other like they were starstruck to see, oh
yeah.
shit, that's Michael Jackson. Oh shit, that's Bob Dylan. Oh, that's Bruce Springsteen. That's Cyndi Lauper. It's like
Yeah.
everybody's kind of looking at each other. They're
Yeah.
big stars, and they're looking at each other like, wow, like I'm starstruck, and
Hmm.
so it's yeah, and then like, so I can only imagine if those people were, and they were already like well established in their careers by that point. Like somebody that may be a little bit newer, definitely deserves to be in that space, but like they're in a lot more, like their careers in its infancy, so they don't feel like they have as much standing. They don't feel like they have as much star power. So it might be a little bit more like, like you said, like an insecurity thing, and then being asked about Prince, who is the bigger star all the time. Like in her mind, may have solidified that. I guess like confirmed how the insecurity she was feeling, and that's what just kind of made her walk out.
So hold on, my eyes are a little weird because I'm looking at this Streamlabs thing
Hmm.
on my settings, and it says I'm visible on stream. Where you got the eyeball, the camera, and the microphone. You see that top left?
Um, Top left. No,
It's
I think
like
that might be on your end since I added you. I think it's just saying that you're visible because you're added through
oh,
the
why does yours
collaboration
say
link.
hidden?
My say, oh, are you live? Are you streaming right now?
No, I'm not streaming.
Oh, I think that might be it. Then I think it's just saying that if you were streaming, I would be hidden.
Hidden on the stream.
Not 100% sure. Everything looks good on my end.
Okay, I'm just making sure. I don't want you to not be able to see yourself.
No, no, no. I think it's good.
Okay.
But yeah, like it's just a fascinating thing. Like I had one more thing I want to say. I definitely had a better appreciation for Lionel Richie,
Yeah.
because man, the way he was able to like wear so many hats
Hmm.
and like just come straight off of hosting, performing, straight into the studio session where he's gonna have to like
Right.
continue working and like help corral like this big massive people, these big massive egos, like
Again.
all in a room.
Yeah.
So like I was like, man, I've never, I not that I have any issues or anything against Lionel Richie, just never really been that big of a fan of his music, and don't really know much about him outside of like the music career and like Nicole Richie, his
Yeah,
own
I
song.
think
So
that's because of Prince and Michael.
yeah,
Like if Lionel came out 20 years sooner
mm,
or later,
yeah, he'd be
it,
huge.
it would have been different. He probably would have been the guy
Hmm.
of the era, but same. I just know him from the album cover with that striped shirt. Mm.
I know the exact one you're talking about. Yeah, matter of fact, my grandma had that. My grandma
Yeah.
had that. Like she had the record on display. That was like one of her favorites. So she always had that one kind of like up. And I never played. She never had well, at least as long as I was coming around, she didn't have a record player. So I never actually got to hear it. I just remember always seeing it.
Yeah, I don't even know what song's on it. I don't even know what it's called. I
Like
just know he's
the
leaning.
but man, watching him in there and like just kind of hearing him talk
Yeah,
and just seeing how he was able to, move in that room and just be a light, like especially in those moments where, it was getting late, people getting a little irritated, they tired. And he was able to kind of bring people back and like get people laughing and smiling and stuff again. So I was like, yo, I got like mad respect for him just
I
off
can
of watching
identify with
that.
that. I can definitely identify with that, and it's exhausting too. Like, I mean, God bless him, because to do that, you gotta be on.
Yeah, and
You got to be
then
on, and like, I think he knew actually, I know he knew the responsibility that he had,
mhm,
and with that, like, your energy can't, your energy
yeah,
can't, it can't be easily wavered like everybody else's, or what's the word? Your energy influences the room. The room can't influence your energy, and
yeah,
I think that that is the ultimate summation of the responsibility of hosting anything,
mhm,
an event, a show, anything. And I think you need to be really conscious, a class, anything with a group of people, you need to be very conscious that your energy has to be on and ready to influence the room and not be influenced by the room.
oh
Not
yeah,
everybody can do that. Not everybody can do that.
yeah. All I just kept thinking, I was like, man, that I just kept looking at the time because that was the really biggest. That's the biggest thing for me. Because if I get tired, I get cranky, and I
Mhm.
don't know if I would have been able to hold it together. But it was like he had to be, even if it was getting to him, the process was getting to him. Like as long as it was taking, even if it was getting to him, he held it together because he's like, if I fall apart, everybody, all this whole thing falls apart.
Yeah, I wish he talked more about that too. I wish we talked
Yeah,
more about his process as far as like how the fuck did you do all of that?
yeah,
How did you stay in the game for that? Because I can't get two performances. You're hosting and two performances. It's
hmm,
a lot. Hosting is a lot. Performing is a lot. Hosting, performances, recording, and we didn't even talk about it. They were shooting a music video also while
oh
recording.
yeah, that
That
part too. Like they're filming it as they're filming it as we're trying to like get it together and like, oh man, yeah, that would have been that's a lot of pressure. That's like even more than just singing in front of your peers and having all those people in the room, and you got
that
cameras on me,
yeah, and cameras. Cameras are just like
and it's like one take for the most part. Like, cause it's not like I can go back and review the footage or anything like that. It's like we're recording this now. There's no
mhm,
coming back and getting no reshoots or anything like
mhm,
that.
mhm. I mean, but technically your reshoots are in line with the number of rounds or recordings that they have to do. But
Yeah.
still, there's not another day, and then even that, like even right now, sitting and talking. I love this. This is a lot of fun. This damn light, this light though,
It's too bright.
it's getting on my nerves, but it's needed.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine standing in front of this thing from 10 p.m. until 5
Yeah.
a.m., 6 a.m. It's hot. After a while, I'm not hot right now, but like just that whole, oh my god, I'm about to
Yeah.
throw up. Just I'm about to throw up. Like it
Oh
makes me
man.
gag. It made me want to gag a little bit.
Which I mean, there was a certain level of professionalism I guess you just had to have to be that level of star. Like people talk about media training or like artist development and stuff like that. Like they were going through it like boot camp. Like it was, so I can only imagine where that was. Even though it would get to anybody, but I could just feel like it would feel more like second nature for
The
somebody in
boot
their
camp,
position back then.
yeah. The boot
Fish.
camp comment. Yeah. Actually, when I'm feeling fatigued, it's funny you say that.
Mm-hmm.
I have a military background, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's I think the name of the guy, he's a sniper. His name is Chesty Puller. Let me look. Let me look this up. Chesty Puller, he was a sniper. And I believe whenever I'm like really fatigued, I think one of his missions was he had to crawl 3 miles to shoot, like he was like in the jungle or whatever. He had to shoot like this Chinese general or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it took him 3 days or somebody know if y'all know the real story, just like say it in the comments, whatever. I'm fine with that. But basically, this guy he crawled in the rainforest for 3 days. Like bugs bite you, all of the thing. Like you can't use the bathroom. Obviously, you can't move because if anybody notices you, you're gonna get killed, right?
Mm-hmm.
3 whole days. Shitting on yourself, peeing on yourself, not eating, crawling, getting bit up, right?
Damn.
He gets to his point, his target that he wants to. He sees the guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shoots him, snipes him, and kills him. And then what? What do you think happens?
He gets killed.
No.
Oh. Oh.
He gets up and he runs. He
Oh
runs
yeah.
away, right? Finally gets out of Dodge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Except not, no, that's not what he does. He has to crawl all the way back. The same speed.
Oh yeah, because he can't
He
be
can't get up and
seen.
run. You can't get
Yeah.
seen. So you kill the guy, you hit your mark, and now you still got to put in the same effort you put in to get there
To get back.
to get back. I always think about that. I be like, Lord, this is hard. Like, if I'm going through something, I'm so tired. This is so hard. I can't. And I just think about this. I'm like,
I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna use that now because I can't. Like it's like you think you got it hard. I had to shit on myself for 3 days, and then I had to crawl in and crawl back after.
I think it's just the Puller. He's a sniper. Crawled. Anyway, 3 miles, whatever. He crawled forever. Ah! A Vietnam War sniper crawled for 3 days across 2,000 miles of open field,
2,000.
killed NVA general with one shot, then crawled back. I'm gonna send you the link. I'm a
Yeah, send that to me because that's nuts.
oh his Carlos Hathcock. Carlos Hathcock. Yeah, I think Chesty Puller is the one who shot into somebody's scope, shot him in the eye or whatever.
Okay.
But there's my tangent. All right, I sent you the link.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm gonna read that because that's just crazy as hell.
Yeah, we were talking about the resilience,
Mm-hmm.
the mental. That's the heart of the battle right there.
Yeah. Well,
Is your mental.
shoot, man, this was I really would recommend anybody that hasn't seen it. It's called The Greatest Night in Pop on Netflix right now. Make sure y'all check this out. It's only maybe like an hour and a few minutes, so it's definitely worth the watch. But yeah, hey, baby, love you. Thank you so much for being on the show. Like we've been talking about doing an episode for a minute. I'm glad we finally were able to get you on, like as part of 1430. Before we go, is there anything like any parting words you want to give to anybody watching?
Yeah, follow me on Instagram at a lot of ads. So it's at Martez Dominique. That's me. MartezDominique. I'm also ARU Heels HEELS. It's my dance ministry. ARU Heals HEALS. It's a spiritual ministry. And then I have ARU Lash and Beauty, a baby, an infant, but she'll be something too. And y'all just believe in yourself. Just believe in
Yeah.
yourself. And just do the thing. Do the thing that you want to do. That's all.
Well, yeah, and I'm gonna all of your ads, all four ads, I'm gonna put in the description once this goes up on YouTube tomorrow. So so thank you once again for being on the show, having a conversation with me. If you have not watched it, make sure you watch Greatest Night in Pop on Netflix if you were interested in everything we had to talk about. But until next time, it's your boy Vinny Dangerous, MartezDominique. Much love.
Bye.